Hello, my name is Gabriel Ortiz, and this is my oral presentation for English 4010 Communication and Interpersonal Relations Online for the Fall 2014 semester. My topic is characteristics of a successful manager and how they are gained and learned. For my presentation, I will be using the hospitality industry because that is in fact my major, hospitality management. I will use two examples of a successful manager and an unsuccessful manager, how they are efficient and inefficient at their current positions. And I have taken time to analyze both these managers in question. One successful manager is my father, Felipe Ortiz. The other in question is inefficient at his current position. It's my current manager. We will use his name as Craig. To analyze the successful manager and how he is efficient, Felipe is the general manager of El Phoenix restaurant. It's corporate owned. They operate about 22 restaurants from Dallas extending all the way to Oklahoma. They have been in business for about 95 years now, so they have been pretty successful in their endeavors. Felipe, my father, rose through the ranks. He came as an immigrant from Mexico. Started off as a busser for the company. Worked his way as a waiter. He was a waiter at the time of my childhood. Promoted to assistant manager because he was very efficient, hardworking. He rose to the ranks very quickly. Now he's the general manager of the store of his choosing, and he chose to be closer to home. Time and time again, I've visited the restaurant because it's my father. I've seen his management style. His key is motivation, and he's never been the type to motivate through fear. He motivates employees because he knows that happy employees are motivated employees, and motivated employees will do a better job than unhappy employees. Characteristics: he's very motivational. He's very positive. He helps you when needed. He's up front at the front desk most of the time. He's never locked in his office, so he's very easy to reach, communicate with. He's on time. He leads by example. He shows his employees that he cares, so they should care as well. On the contrary, my current manager, Mr. Craig, is very inefficient at this. He believes that management through fear is the most effective way, which is not always the case. At first, when the business was beginning, the company was fairly new. That was in October 2014 that this company came to be. The management team seemed to be very effective. They were very motivational. They were easygoing. Now times have changed. They're very stressful. Their owners stressing them out, so they carry that over to our side. And it's not very effective because they feel like the fear tactic is very efficient in getting the most out of their employees, which is not the case because now the employees do the job, but they just do the bare minimum. They are not trying to go beyond expectations of what they're supposed to do. They're just there to make their money and go. So these aren't really happy employees now because they're just there to make their living. They're not really motivated to be there, which again goes to show that the fear tactic isn't really effective. Also, Craig, the ineffective manager, will schedule you for hours that you cannot meet. For example, when I came there, I specifically stated that I was a full-time student and gave him my availability. He fires people left and right for ineffectiveness, yet he's the one being ineffective as a manager because he's not there to help. Back to the point was he'll schedule you because he's out of employees to put on the shifts because he's lacking employees now because he fires them left and right, or they leave because, again, he uses the fear tactic, which doesn't really want you to stick around for the position that you're in. It's not really a high-paying job, so it's not really worth it. He'll schedule for times you cannot meet. You're based on your availability. The schedule will go out on Sunday night as late as 11 at night, and then you'll be scheduled at 10 a.m. the next morning. So it's not really good use of technology on his management part, because then you're waiting around till almost 11 or midnight to see if in fact you're scheduled for tomorrow morning. And if you were to say fall asleep before that time, then you have no idea if you're working tomorrow morning unless you check your email, which doesn't really give you adequate enough time to mentally prepare for the shift that you're going for. On the contrary, the effective manager, Felipe, makes sure that the schedule is done 3 to 4 days before the next scheduled period is to begin. It's posted on the wall, same place. Employees know where to go because it's a system that he has created to be effective. Again, this shows that he is effective through technology, and he will email you if there's any problems, or he will ask before he schedules you for these shifts that need to be covered. His employees are very happy. His turnover rate is not very high because they've been employed there a very long time. They love being employed there because, as I mentioned, Felipe does a very good job of motivating his employees, helping them out when they need it. They feel very comfortable in their position, and happy employees are effective employees. On the contrary, over here, with our ineffective manager, Craig, we're not to say we're ineffective, but like as I mentioned, we just do the bare minimum. So this is not characteristic of a good manager. He's unmotivational. He'll use the fear tactic, which is ineffective, as mentioned. I don't see this restaurant lasting much longer through season, which I give about February, March maybe. I would be very surprised if this restaurant lasts any longer, unfortunately, because the concept was great. The food is amazing. This is just that management and ownership, they've jumped in too confident in what they believe their abilities were. They're using a military style based approach, which, as we see, we're in the 21st century. That does not work. When a manager says jump, the employee does not ask how high anymore. It's when the manager says jump, we're all supposed to jump, basically, as an analogy. This has been my presentation over characteristics of an effective manager, ineffective and versus effective, using 2 examples, I believe, create a scenario for you to understand. Nothing else to say. Thank you.